how to sponsor yourself to the UK, especially if you're a nurse and you've passed your English test, which is either IELTS or OET, and then CBT, but struggling to secure a job. This is the topic and a discussion in this video. My name is Seth. Agyemang. I'm a Ghanaian trained nurse working in the UK, and if today is your first time seeing my channel, I officially welcome you. I must say that this video is structured into chapters, so feel free to watch what you want to watch. However, if you can watch from the start to the finish, I believe that you understand it much more better. This video is intended to open your eyes so you don't get scammed by any quack agency. Secondly, every amount you see me quote in this video is much more of a rough estimate. It is subject to change as and when you start your process. And I won't say I'm an expert in this topic I'm going to talk about. That's why I advise you do further research about it before you view the information in this video. It is also good to know that some may be coming from the UK government's website. I'll try as much as possible to leave links in the description box for confirmation. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's begin. You see, some international nurses are desperate to travel to the UK, and for me, I believe that the desperation is coming from the fact that their CBT and IELTS tests are expiring very soon. It is disheartening to have passed IELTS and CBT so long ago and you are still struggling to get a job. What I want to say is that I did experience a piece of this, so I know how it feels like. Passing IELTS and CBT is not a child's play, so the sight of them expiring just like that breaks up. In situations like this, I know you may be tempted to do everything humanly possible to get yourself abroad. And it is during these moments that some quack agencies raise their heads. They will certainly promise to bring you to the UK and then give you jobs. They start telling you every possible benefit that can make your head sink into believing that nursing in the UK is heaven on earth, and later you are entangled with a fee. And because for you wouldn't want your IELTS or CBT to go to waste, you give in. I had a nurse mention to me that a so-called recruitment agency was charging her £15,000 to bring her to the UK, and she almost fell for it because the others that once she started work, she could make double of that amount within a short time. You see, why do you have to believe such a lie? Someone also said that an agency that promised to charge her £6,000 has recently increased the fee to £10,000. You see, the truth be told, some nurses have been in the UK for close to 5 years now and can't even boast of £10,000 in their accounts. So what I want to say is that you shouldn't allow yourself to be deceived by any agency. Don't let them push you into setting your expectations beyond all reasonable imaginations. What I'm trying to say is that if such an offer is thrown at you, think twice before you succumb. But let's just say you have the money the agency is charging you. Let's say £15,000, £20,000. Do you know that you can sponsor yourself to the UK to sit for your OSCE and then get your UK NMC pin? If you have no idea of this, let me show you how to sponsor yourself to the UK in this video. Now, with each process involved, I will tell you roughly how much you need to spend so that you know how to prepare yourself financially. Before you think of sponsoring yourself to the UK, you've got to make sure that you have passed an English test. This may be either IELTS or OET, as well as your CBT in your home country. That is to say that OSCE exam should be the only thing left for you to do. And you know, this is done in the UK. Remember that the general idea of self-sponsorship is to get yourself to the UK to write the OSCE, and not just write it, but come in here with the hope of passing all the stations once and for all. Now the question is, how do you do it? Begin preparing for the OSCE right from your home country. So if you are from Ghana, start from there. If you are from Nigeria, you can start watching YouTube videos to learn what the OSCE entails, the number of stations involved, and what is expected of you to mention by the field. This exercise will cost you £0. Nothing, you have to pay for that. Now, once you know the basics of OSCE, you've got to sit down and then decide whether you want to stick to watching free practical video tutorials on YouTube, or you want to pay a fee to be trained by an online OSCE training institutions. There are so many of them out there. Now, the last time I checked, the minimum OSCE training cost for a certified trainer was £6,000. So let's say you want to join a paid online OSCE class. you will be paying an average fee of £700 for however long you want to prepare. So let's put this down. Now, if you can't afford this amount, you have to leverage other free platforms to learn the OSCE. But just remember that you may or may not get exactly what you are looking out for. If you finally decide on how you would want to prepare, plan to book for the OSCE test. Here, the booking fee will cost you £794, so let's put that down. The reason why I advise you to book for the test earlier is that you get access to free online resources, including practice materials and then the marking criteria from the test center involved, which can help you prepare very well. It also allows you to plan for your visa application and gets you to start working on your accommodation as well. I will talk deeply about this later on in this video. So what I want to say is that if you finally decide to book for the test, think of the fact that everything you do will revolve around the test date. So you've got to be careful about the test date you choose. For example, if you decide to choose a test date within 3 weeks, the question is, will your visa be approved by that time? The other thing you have to ask yourself is that, will you have secured an apartment for yourself? That is to say, if you don't know anyone you'll be living with during your stay in the UK. And will you have prepared enough? This is to say that you should choose your test date wisely. Factor all these parameters so that you don't further put yourself in a tight corner. To start booking your OSCE test, find out the test centers available and then their test date. When you visit the UKNMC's website, you should be able to have access to all the OSCE test centers in the UK. Oxford Brookes University to Leeds Teaching Hospital NHS Trust. I'll leave the link down there below so that you can have access to it. Read more about it and then, choose which one you prefer. You see, knowing which test center you want will help you finalize where you want to stay, and then you can start making preparations for that. Once you are ready to book for the OSCE, go to the preferred test center's website and you should look out for a section that says booking your test or something like that. If you click on it, you get the guide to book for the test. Accommodation. You see, as part of getting yourself to the UK to write the OSCE, one other thing you have to look into is accommodation, where you will stay or sleep while you are in the UK. If you have someone sponsoring you, then you don't have to worry about it. If not, you will need to look for an apartment to rent. You can visit UK rental sites like Supla, Rightmove, On the Market, and many more, and then start looking for accommodation. You see, with accommodation, you should be able to get it sorted out before your visa application because you'll be asked to prove where you stay in the UK as part of your visa process. So let's say your OSCE test center is in Oxford, so you have to rent an apartment close to this place. I'm just saying, you can rent anywhere. The last time I checked on Zoopla, the average cost of rent for a shared apartment in Oxford was £600 per month. It may be more or less at different locations, but let's stick to this for now. So how much you pay depends on how many months you stay in the UK. So let's say for you, it is 2 months you want to stay here. Then you should be looking at £1,200. On top of this are other bills to cater for, like council tax, water, electricity, food, and so on. It will be more. But let's roughly say you want to stay in here for 2 months. You've got to spend like £2,500. So let's shut that down. Yeah, so I know it's quite expensive for someone who doesn't live or work in the UK, but it is what it is. To get yourself to the UK to write your OSCE exams, you need to apply for a specific visa called a standard visitor visa. You need to apply for this visa online before you travel to the UK. The good aspect is that you can apply for this visa 3 months before you travel. And by applying for a standard visitor visa for OSCE, you can stay in here for up to 6 months. And the fee involved for the visa application is £115. Now, the very question you're asking yourself is, what happens if you do not pass your OSCE within this period? A very big question, right? I'll talk about this later on. Now, to be granted a standard visitor visa for your OSCE exams, you must provide the right evidence to the UK Home Office. First of all, you must provide a letter from the UKNMC confirming your OSCE test registration and the confirmation of your test booking. You also need to prove that you are able to support yourself during your trip. or have funding from someone else to support you. Yeah, so if you get a sponsor or someone, family member inviting you here, then that's fine. And whatever it is, you should be able to prove that you have some money in your account. That is, if you are coming on your own, you don't know anyone in here who will be sponsoring you. So let's just say you should have an amount of £1,240 in your accounts. And as part of your visa application, you also want to be sure that you're able to pay for your return journey. I'll talk about that later on. Once your visa is approved, you are ready to fly up to the UK to get your OSCE done. This might be a happy moment. You have to book for your flight. So here, you should be thinking of your flight fee. The fee involved may depend on the airline you want to use and the time you want to come in. If you decide to book your flight so close to the date of your departure, you will pay more than booking it way ahead of time. The last time I checked British Airways, a one-way flight averagely cost £520 for economy, probably. And you've got to get a return ticket as well. So roughly you are looking at £1,600. So should you put all the average cost I've mentioned in place, you should be spending about £6,949 if you decide to sponsor yourself to rise the OSCE. This is 124,769.80 Ghana cedis. In Naira, it is 13,366,702. In Kenyan shillings, it is 1,149,878. For Zambians, you'll be paying 224,357. Indians will pay 735,829 rupees. And then the conversion in US dollars is $8,813. I want you to understand that this is a rough estimate. It may be less or it may be more than that. And make the decision yourself. Compare this amount to what an agency is charging you: £15,000, £20,000, £25,000, and make the decision yourself. Remember, this is a rough estimate. I want you to sit back and then research the cost involved and make the comparison. And then maybe you come back and then thank me later. I rest my case. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share, and then subscribe until we meet again. Bye.